Two retired detectives that were in the thick of New York crime, fast and hectic. They got some stories and some jokes, even an interview with the most popular folks. Off the cuff, one episode just ain't enough. Get a little laughter and an interview too. It's maybe the best thing you can do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, Bill Cannon. I'm a retired 27-year veteran of the NYPD. And with me tonight is my co-host, also a retired NYPD detective, straight out of Brooklyn, Phil Grimaldi. How you doing tonight, Phil?
I'm doing pretty good, Billy. And I'm actually delighted and honored to be on with our guest tonight. I think it's going to be a really good episode.
I'm thrilled too. I mean, we're always doing blood and guts stories and everything. And here they are, this wholesome couple that is driving around the country with their 3 kids in a mobile home. I mean, I don't know if I can handle that, but they seem to be having a hell of a fun time doing it. Welcome to the show, Jen and Kyle Bethune from Red, White, and Bethune. Hello, guys.
Oh, it looks like they're frozen.
Like they might be frozen here.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
What a time for the Wi-Fi to go out right at the introduction.
I don't see where they are. They got to come back in. Can you guys hear us?
Oh, there they are.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we introduced
troubles.
you. We introduced you with all these accolades, and then you didn't hear us. It was like you were the frozen statue. 2 statues there.
Oh, my goodness.
Welcome, guys.
Internet on the
We had a problem the other night where someone had to use their phone, and it was just like unintelligible. And it was like, I don't have any hair to pull out, so I could pull out my hair, So, when we were off the air, you guys told me that you're in an amazing place right now. You're in the Florida Keys. Tell us where you are.
Yeah, we are in the Florida Keys.
Uh-oh. Freezing up again. Well, I could finish her sentence. Maybe she'll unfreeze. Can you guys hear me? They're in the Florida Keys between Isla Mirada and I think they said Marathon.
I think they called it not Siesta Key. Fiesta Key. They're in Fiesta Key. That's
Fiesta Key.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? Well, it's
the wonders of live TV, huh?
I know it's
live broadcast.
I thought Isla Mirada would at least have good internet in Isla Mirada.
It's funny. We had them on for a couple of minutes before we went on the air. They were perfect. Everything was great.
I know. And now let me see if I remove them and put them back in again, if it works out. So they are in Isla Mirada, which to me, I went there last April. It's in the Florida Keys. I believe it's the 2nd key, and it's just unbelievably beautiful. You know what I'm going to try to do? I think I'm going to, unless they come right back in.
Bill, why don't you work on it, and I'll give a little background. How's that?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was going to play the video of them finding Gabby.
Okay,
here they are.
Before you do that, I'll just give a little background on.
Can you guys hear us?
Oh, we got him. We got him.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I know. He did with Joe.
Hang on, guys. I'm coming. It wouldn't be, a day without all the fun.
There we go.
Now you guys are back on the screen.
I think we're good now. We should be okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we're good.
sorry
All
about
right,
that.
cool.
Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
Welcome to the show, guys. We got you finally.
So I was telling everybody that you're in the Florida Keys. Why don't you tell the folks listening where you are right now?
Yeah, we are in the Florida Keys, and we're hanging out without children. My in-laws actually kept the kids for 8 nights, so Kyle and I could come down to the Keys and hang out.
Wow. Do you guys know what to do when the kids aren't around?
Not really. It's so it's so quiet and everything stays clean. It's kind of bizarre, honestly.
You probably have to reintroduce each other, because without the kids around, it's got to be a whole
You
different
really
life,
do.
right?
You really do.
Crazy.
You like stare
It's
around, look at each other, type thing.
It's funny when I have 3 daughters, and we would complain about them, and then when they weren't around, we'd be like, "Where are they? Bring them back."
It's and I was talking about, not only do you guys have to get along well with each other, but during most of your 365 days a year, you have to get along with your 3 kids who are with you pretty much 24/7, and that includes homeschooling. And Kyle, you're the homeschooler, right?
Yeah, I do the majority of the homeschooling. I kind of tend to have a little more patience when it comes to that sort of thing than she does. So, but I mean, it's kind of a joint effort. I'm not I'm more of a math person. She's more of a English and grammar person. So we know our strengths. And
Now, Kyle, are you a teacher by trade?
No, absolutely not. No, just not very educated at all, honestly.
Yeah, but one thing you must do well is repair things, because if I was in that mobile home, I'd be jumping off a bridge somewhere because I can't fix anything.
Yeah, I wasn't a mechanic as a trade, but owning something this old that takes this much abuse, I've kind of gotten pretty handy over the last few years. So yeah, I pretty much do the majority of the work on, we have a lot, when it breaks down or maintenance. We just remodeled our entire kitchen area, so I stay pretty busy working on this thing.
How many miles are on that truck?
It actually doesn't show. I'm sure it's around 1 million. I mean, the odometer's broke, so I'm sure it's around 1 million miles or so.
I know what you guys are going to do. You're going to probably try to sell it. Low mileage.
Yeah.
50,000. It went over 1 million, and now it's got 50,000.
Don't give away that secret, Bill.
That's
Yeah,
true,
right?
But your life has to be. How many years have you been doing this anyway?
It's coming up on 2 years. February of 2020 is when we moved into the bus. So
Okay.
we're almost at 2 years of living in the bus.
So we've been
Wow.
RVing for, probably a better part of a decade. But yeah, just full-time living, travel has been about almost 2 years.
There's this bald-headed guy that wants to come into the chat here, so I'm going to let him in. I don't know if you recognize this guy.
I love Jen and Kyle and their whole family, and I forced Bill to let me come on here and say hello. So Merry Christmas to you guys. How you doing?
Hey, great, Ron. How's it going?
Good, Ron. How are you? We love you.
I love you back. The kitchen and all of the work that Kyle has done. I know you try to take some credit for it, but he was working his butt off. So I'm sticking by you, brother. Jen,
Thank you.
Jen is
Yeah, no,
she
helped me quite a bit, honestly.
Oh, I know. She did the upholstering of the seats and
Yeah.
She's there with the goggles on, ready to go. But I want to say hi to Bill and Phil. These guys are great, and I'm so glad that you got together with them. I know that, all of the world, not just America, loves you guys. And, that fire that is burning inside all of us watching what you guys did, the candle will never burn out. So I thought it was important that I came on here and just to remind you. I mean, we communicate all the time. I'm like a hemorrhoid. I won't go away, but I love.
Are you a pain in the ass?
I am, but I'm in a good way because I watch everything that they do. I support them on social media because I like to support good people. And Jen and Kyle and their whole family, the way that they go about their lives, even before this whole Gabby Petito thing, is just what is what I like, And so for me, I think it was just great that I got to meet them through a tragedy, but for me it's a win-win because they're good people. You know what I mean? And that's my takeaway from it. And that's the gift from Gabby Petito, that I was able to meet them. That's my gift from her. So
We love
really
you,
nice,
Ron.
That's really nice.
Ron, where did you run into them? Was it out on Long Island?
Yeah. So as we all did, we saw that footage, right? And immediately, I was already involved with EquiSearch, with communication with Jimmy Schmidt, and he was in Wyoming, and I was talking to him while he was in his hotel room on text messaging, and we said, if you need a drone pilot to do the Tetons, we're going to send a team. We had our guy in Texas; he was ready to fly up there. So Gene Robinson, our main drone pilot, was ready to go. So I had an open line of communication with them. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, to what happened with Jen and Kyle, I, like everybody else, I was sucked into it. And I was like, oh, if I ever meet these people, I'm going to hug them and I'm not going to let them go. So we had the funeral service. Joe, Murray, and Angela came to the funeral service. Me and Diane, my neighbor, were there. And, I wasn't looking. I didn't think, oh, Jen was going to be there. I didn't know. But I was sitting in the back waiting on the line with everybody else. And I saw her do her little sneak in with Theo. She had Theodore with her, and she went around the back where the fire trucks were. And she was like, avoided the press. And she went in. She had her J-Lo glasses on, and she was like, whoosh, right into the back. And I was like, Diane, stay right here. I got to go to the bathroom. I made an excuse that I had to go and use the bathroom. And I went in and I scoped it out, and it was just for family only. So the public was not allowed in, but I went in to use the bathroom, and I peeked in and I saw her in there, and I was like, oh, all right, that was her. That was Jen. And I said, I'm going to be respectful and hit outside. And if I bump into her, I bump into her. If I don't, I'll just tell her I saw her there or whatever. And fate had it where I had to go underneath the rope, the little, like, they had like a sheer little, like, blue, like, keeping the family away from the public. It was like a little barrier. I went under, like any good cop would do. I was like, boom, underneath the thing. And I wanted to shake Jimmy's hand because I already spoke to Joe. I spoke to Tara and Nicole, but I didn't talk to Jimmy, and he was over by where Jen was sitting in the back. But I didn't see her right away. And I went to Jimmy. I said my thing, and then as I was exiting, I saw her sitting with Theo in the couch, and it was just like a little thing. I made it really quick because I didn't want her to think, oh, this is some weird, creepy guy. And I just said, I'm Duty Ron, and she was like, oh, hi, and it was just quick. And then the rest is history. We're lifelong buds now, so.
Duty Ron is like a household name in the podcasting business. I just wanted to ask you guys something. If Duty Ron moved in with you, Kyle, would you homeschool him?
We'd have to add another bunk in.
We could fit him in here somewhere, though.
And we would be able to share our CPAP machines because I have the exact same. I'd have to use that Nomad Power or whatever that power pack, for backup power. It would be me. I'd be on the end. Kyle would be in the middle, and then Jen would be on the other end, and that's how it would go down because that's how it would happen. I'm not sleeping on any sofa out front. I'm sleeping in the big sleeper.
Oh, that is so funny.
But yeah, no, Bill, thank you for letting me come. I don't want.
What, are you kidding me? Duty Ron has so much to do with the success of my channel, even though I am sexy and all of that stuff. But Duty Ron has helped me out tremendously, and luckily I ran into Phil Grimaldi, has been my co-host for the last 3 months, and Mark DeMeo, my original partner, is doing his own thing on Thursdays on the same channel. So we're having a ball doing this. It's very challenging, as you guys know. You got to keep coming up with new ideas, and you guys have to come up with new ideas while you're traveling across the country. So it's not easy.
Yeah, but
no, it's not. But it makes it easier because we literally just film our real life and what goes on, and it's the good, the bad, the ugly. We're a literal shit show on wheels. Like, it's just who we are. And so it makes it easier to film that when you're yourself on and off camera.
The shit show on wheels is awesome because you got me. I am addicted to it. Every Sunday night, I'm tuning into these guys. I think the one Sunday that I missed, me and the missus were at a wedding, a rare Sunday wedding. And when I didn't make it, and then I came next Sunday, everybody was like in the chat, like, where were you, guy? You were absent. Kyle had me marked absent on the homeschooling chart.
On the roster, the
I
homeschool roster.
I was missing in action from the roster.
Yeah, the YouTube family is very tight. I mean, we have a core group of people that they show up, rain or shine, every week, and we're very grateful for that. And the YouTube community is great.
Yeah, they are very supportive, very engaging. What I like about Kyle and Jen's community is that everybody has this common it's like a common bond coming together, because everybody's into that whole RVing thing and the life of traveling. It's a great community of people because they're just so chill. That's my best description of it, is like you can light a campfire and be cold and shivering and have your little cup of whatever your favorite adult beverage or coffee or tea or whatever, and you could just hang out and there's no bullshit. It's just like, I mean, that's my take, and I'm not even there, but I just envision that's how it goes, having a couple of jokes and a couple of good laughs, adult fun, this, that, the other, and there's no pressure, the whole hustle bustle of life as we know it, and as we knew it. Now we're retired guys, well, not me so much, but they just get to chill and they have a good time. And it's like, flying by the seat of the pants. What's next? Where are we going to go next? Do we go left? Do we go right? Well, Kyle's got the GPS, so yeah.
That's real reality, Duty Ron, what you're explaining. That's the real reality. A lot of these reality shows are choreographed, but this is real red, white, and Bethune.
Yeah.
You get what you get. Honestly, I mean, you like she said, we show it all of our breakdowns, the meltdowns, and everything in between.
Yeah, and people ask Jen all the time, "Are you always so happy like this?" And she's like, "Oh hell no." She's like, "I'm usually really upbeat, but so we all have our moments." She's a human being. It's not always smiles and laughs. We all have our trials and tribulations that we go through. Well, I wanted to ask you guys before I leave, how did the remodel go? Is it complete, or do you guys still got stuff to do?
The bulk of it's done. We've got a few more projects to do once we get back from the Keys. We're putting mini splits in. We're replacing our air conditioners.
We're still married though. So
we're still married, so we're doing good.
That's good. Whew. I saw you got bikinied up, and Kyle was out there sitting there. He looked like he was lounging out and having a good time. That was awesome. I'm referring to their Instagram because, as you guys know, I follow everything that you guys do. So it looked like a great day. Great beach day, chilling out along all the lounge trails going along. I was envying you. I was like, here I am. It's freezing. I'm freezing my ass off. And these guys are sitting down in the Keys having a nice cocktail.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I love the Keys. I think it's just especially Isla Morada. I was there, as I said, it was there last April. Beautiful. I'd move there if I could.
It's amazing. As I was telling her, there's nowhere else you can visit in the United States that's like it. It's so unique and so beautiful. But yeah, it is very expensive to live here, even just to visit here. I don't think we've ate a meal under $100 at this point. No. Out, so it's very pricey. But it's nice to get away for a few.
Did you guys fishing? You guys
experience the beauty and the warm weather?
Did you guys go fishing at all?
What's that?
Do you go fishing?
We haven't. Honestly, we haven't done much. We've been
laying around.
They don't have the kids. They're just chilling. That's what they're doing.
They're chilling out.
We have all these plans, and then we get down here and we're like, I'm tired. Let's just, we eat and we kind of hang out.
Did anybody catch what Jen just said? She goes, "We're just laying around like bums."
Pretty much what we've been doing.
I freaking love it.
Good for you guys. Good for you guys.
Love it.
Where is your hometown? Where are you from?
The Tampa Bay area. So I'm from Riverview, Florida, and he's from Dover, Florida, which is like 25 minutes
right
from
outside
each other.
The Tampa Bay area, kind of the suburbs.
All right, so you guys are Floridians. I can see that.
Native.
Yeah.
And they met on Match.com, I think, right?
We did.
Wow.
We
Really?
did.
Oh, that's
many years ago.
We met in the chat room of Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories.
Yeah, back in 2006, I was on Match.com, and so was he. And this guy messaged me 3 times before I agreed to go out with him. And I don't know why I didn't the first 2 times, but on the 3rd time, I was like, all right, 3rd time's a charm. And I went out with him, and it was love at first sight. And I came home that night, and I told my mom, I was like, I'm going to marry this guy. And she's like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to marry him. And then on our 3rd date, he told me that he loved me and sent me flowers. And
yeah, I went all in on that one.
Wow.
The rest is history.
Wow.
That was the best online. That's the best online match you can make. My brother met his wife going back to 2001 online. I don't know if it was Match, but it was one of those, matching sites. And he's still married, and they have a great family. And
that's great.
You guys do too. Love can be found online.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a roll the dice kind of thing, but there's many people who meet their significant other online. So kudos to you guys. And you see, it's good that you brought me. It's good that I weaseled my way on, Bill, because I know this stuff about them.
That's right. You know the whole story. I didn't have to dig deep to get these answers.
I had to open my case file on them.
It's good to hear these success stories, though, because it's funny. In my family, my mother-in-law, who had been divorced for like 20 years, and she had been on Match.com, I guess, and a couple of them, and just nothing ever panned out. And then about 5 years ago, she met a gentleman, a retired dentist, and they were just married about 2 months ago. So, and they're both in their 70s. So,
God bless.
It was really, it was really.
Awesome.
You don't think it's possible, but obviously, there's a few success stories right here in front of us.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
These two are great people, and again, you can't forget what they did do, and no matter how it went down because of them, and all the people who surround them and support them. They all had a hand in it as well. So, kudos to that whole juju that came together to make that happen, because the end result was bringing somewhat of closure for the Petito and Schmidt family. You were on with me, Bill. You lost it a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You had a moment, because we know the importance of that type of evidence and how it wouldn't have happened the way it happened had they didn't capture that. And Kyle thought he shut the freaking thing off, and he didn't even shut it off. So I think that was part of their son coming through, and working his magic from up in heaven. And I really feel like that whole situation is, as much as they want to just downplay it, it was a huge, enormous piece of this puzzle. And I'll never forget that. I know, Bill, you'll never forget them.
That was amazing.
I don't want to take up all of your show. I just wanted to come in here because I wanted to tell these two I love them and wish them a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you do, Ron.
On a video. Yes, love you guys. Bill, thank you. Phil, I love you guys too, man. You guys are my brothers forever. So thank you for letting me come on.
Thank you for coming on, Duty Ron.
Merry Christmas, Duty Ron.
Merry Christmas.
Stay safe.
Thank you, guys.
We love you, Ron.
Love you too. Love you too. All right, guys.
Do you want us to take you out of the? Oh, he took himself out. Oh my God, we so miss Duty Ron. Where did he go? Oh my God. So what is your next? Now you got 8 days without the kids, right? Now what is your next adventure? Turning on the fan, turning off the fan.
Sorry, it's our life. It's just crazy. This is what you get when you go live with us. Is it going off? All right.
These guys are probably like, why the hell are you running an air conditioner?
No. Well, you're in the Keys.
It's hot. I mean, it's like the days are in the low 80s, the nights get in the low 70s, but the air is so heavy and so humid. It just, that air runs all the time.
It's actually a warm day here in the Northeast. It was like 65 degrees earlier today. It was like
that is warm.
Yeah. Tomorrow and by the weekend, it's going to be back to normal, like in the 40s. But it was beautiful today. Yeah. It was really, really nice.
Yeah,
it's like
awesome.
T-shirt weather. But
yeah,
going back to Gabby Petito, I just wanted to really say something about it. Ron really, he struck a point when he talked about how you guys really uncovered probably the most important piece of evidence in that whole case. But I got to tell you, Bill and I did a lot of shows on it, and we all became very, very connected with her. It was like we knew her. I'm getting the chills even saying it, because seeing her face, her beautiful face, and the videos over and over. The night that her remains were recovered, I'll never forget it. We had dinner in my house, and my children, I have 2 college-age daughters, and one's in senior in high school. Everybody knew about it. So not only, you know, the YouTube world, everybody was talking about it. It was obviously an international story, but the night that she was found and identified, I'll never forget it. And we lost it for a second. You know, we all got choked up. It was like, I don't know, we built a friendship with her over that few weeks, you know, and you guys being there, capturing that was so important. Duty Ron brought up about, you know, evidence collection and stuff like that. And I think what it did also, probably more importantly, is that family, the Petito and the Schmidt family, they had to be pulling their hair out of their heads, and it gave them, all right, you know, she wasn't with us anymore, but it was like the beginning of, you know, we're going to find out what happened now. And they knew where she was, and they could bring her home. And I don't think that that's closure. I don't believe in, you know, when you lose a loved one like that, I don't believe in closure. I believe that maybe it gives you a little bit of comfort, a little bit of peace, but you know, and every day as time goes on, maybe it's a little bit easier to get through the day. That's my own personal feeling, but you know, I've never lost a child, thank God. And you know, it's something that's unnatural. So I don't think you ever get over it, is the point. But what you guys, it was like divine intervention, whatever put you guys there. That was really, really the turning point of the whole case. And I guess the word is thank you. That's all I could say.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Kyle,
Well, you know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
We just did what we thought needed to be done. And at the end of the day, anybody can do this. You know, if you see something, say something, and you have no idea how much that one little bit of something can help somebody else. We're not special. We're just average, everyday people that did the right thing. And other people can be that too.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, you know, I think that people do the right thing hundreds of times a day across this country, you know, and they don't get credit for it. People that the good people, they don't get the notice. The bad people get all the notice, you know. But I want to play a little bit of the video when you, at least your cameras spotted her van, and then you know, at some point when you reviewed the footage, it's when you knew that this was the van. I'm going to play a little bit of this.
We're trying to find our spot on this bumpy ass road.
Yeesh, yeesh, yeesh.
See what happens. It's a pretty good road. It's just got big river rock in it. What? Hurry up, hurry up!
The bridge moving.
Shut that thing in there. You can't do this.
Guys, when you were filming this video, this was not intentionally, the camera was left on. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep. He forgot to turn the GoPros off after he said his little thing.
Wow.
Those GoPro cameras are amazing cameras too. They really are.
Yeah, we you know, that's a huge part of our audience. They love, you know, this angle that we do. So I try to do it quite a bit on our travel days.
It's amazing.
And there's the van.
Wow. I mean, when you reviewed the footage, did you know right away that was the van?
Yeah.
when she came in, it was late. I mean, like, you know, when she came in there, she told me, oh, somebody had just tagged me in the, you know, in Gabby Petito stuff. At that point, we were just like everybody else. We've heard about it. And they said, oh, we changed the time. And as soon as she said that, you know, the Spread Creek, and that day, that van popped back into my mind, because I remember seeing it being from Florida, and I knew instantly it was it. I remember the black wheels, the black ladder on the back, you know, I just knew instantly.
Did it seem out of place, Kyle? Did it seem out of place?
No, I mean, it really didn't. I mean, you know, that area there, you know, it's federal land. It's what they call BLM land. So it's basically open for what they call dispersed camping. So you can pretty much park anywhere off that road there and stay up to 14 days. So, I mean, you know, it's not, you know, they were right off the road, which is kind of odd, maybe a little bit, but, you know, not enough to think, oh my gosh, I wonder why they're doing that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. It would be out of the ordinary for somebody to be parked so close to the road, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe we thought maybe because it didn't like it was really much going on. You know, maybe they just pulled off there to have dinner, or there was something to grab a bite to eat, or just relax. Because yeah, I mean, it was, you know, the front of the van's like 5 foot off the road, so it's kind of not the most common place you would see it, but not enough to really strike a huge, you know, oh my gosh, that's way out of place. What
time of day was it when this video was taken?
I would say
about between 6 to 6:15.
Yeah, okay, somewhere around that.
All right.
Someone in the chat wants to know where the van is right now. The van is evidence. I would imagine it's either invoiced by the FBI or the police in Brian Laundrie's town, Northport. That was the name of the town?
Yes.
Part of Florida. I would imagine they have the van that's being held as evidence. At some point, it'll probably be released to Gabby Petito's family, because they don't need it anymore as evidence, but they'll make that decision probably at a later date. Now, when you spotted this van on the GoPro camera, did you immediately know where that was, like how to get back to where it was?
Yeah, that I'm not very good at many things in life. I have a photographic memory of when I'm driving and destinations. Like, I could point it out on a map, you know. It's just, but yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, the Tetons are a very memorable place. You know, that's absolutely an amazingly gorgeous area. So yeah, I mean, it sticks out in my head real well.
Yeah, it's actually an incredibly beautiful area, and I mean, you could see this whole area is just, you know, green and lush, and then there's other parts of the park that are not so much like that, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and directly behind us, as you can see the peaks of the Grand Tetons. But yeah, it's just a beautiful area. There's, like I said, the river's over to the left there. You know, and this is a free place to camp. That's why it's so, you know, appealing to people, because you can just pull off and camp for free, you know, and the weather's nice enough. You don't have to run heat or to run air. So it's just a really nice area to, you know, to camp.
But how about electricity? What do you do for electricity?
We have solar on our bus, and we have a lithium battery system. So we don't really know if we have power or not. We're plugged in or not.
Well, you guys agree. You guys agree. You guys are green energy geeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In a 40-year-old bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What led you guys to be going through the park on that day and that time? Was there, like, give us a little background on earlier that day. Like, how did you guys wind up there?
So it was a complete chance that we were there. We were literally in the Tetons for 12 hours. That was it. We had just left a rally with other full-time families, and we were going to go a different route. But one of the families said, no, you've got to go camp in Spread Creek, drive through the Tetons, and camp there for the night. So we were like, okay, because we fly by the seat of our pants so often, we just decided, let's go over here for the night and see how it goes. And that's how we ended up there, by complete chance.
Yeah, we were in Island Park, Idaho, which is right outside of Yellowstone. So we were originally going to go up north and go up through Montana and then through Wyoming, because we were headed back to South Dakota. And like she said, we actually broke down that morning. I don't know if it shows it
in the video. Yeah.
One of the videos. Yeah. We actually broke down that morning. So we had to fix the bus, and we ended up going down south. I didn't want to do Teton Pass because it's a very scary, not something I want to drive on. So we went like an hour out of the way, and then came up through Jackson, and then went into Spread Creek. And, you know, we like she said, we were only there for a day, and I just wanted to see it.
When
It's
you say it
amazing.
broke down, what exactly would you get? Like a flat tire or something? Or
I have it's a 5-speed manual transmission, and one of the shifter linkages came loose, so I had to crawl up under there and reconnect it.
I would have been like AAA.
Yeah, it had to do it in one of the most desolate rural areas in the country. Like there was no one around, so I'm thankful I've been, lucky enough to learn how to work on this thing, because we would have been in trouble. We probably would have spent the night there if I didn't know how to fix it.
Wow, that's amazing. So let me ask you something. Let's get a little bit back to the Gabby Petito case. Now, obviously, this was an international case, but you guys are not international in the way that you're following social media and television and all of that stuff. So did you hear about this case on social media? How did you become apprised of it?
We first heard about it on social media, and the original timeline that came out, we weren't even in the Tetons yet, so we didn't even think about it. They were saying the 20th through the 25th, and we hadn't even gotten there until the 27th. We came in at like 5:30, 6 o'clock on the 27th and left at 9 a.m. on the 28th. Yeah. So like that's how short of a time span we were there. So we didn't even think that we could possibly have any footage from it.
But I think like everybody, in our community, we'd heard about it, because it's close to home, and there's several people on TikTok, talking about it. So I think we kind of had, the interest because it was part of our community. She was one of us.
Right. Absolutely. I had been to a couple of weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago now. I was in the Myakkahatchee Preserve. I was visiting my sister in Fort Myers, and then I went to Sanibel Island. I said, let me take we're covering the story. I said, let me take a ride there. And a beautiful, beautiful area. But I was like, oh my God, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, oh no. And I don't go into dark places unless I'm strapped with at least a 9. And I didn't have anything on me, I was worrying about alligators and all these crazy animals that, people say they're showing you videos of those wild pigs. They actually have those. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I want to walk in here by myself, Have you guys been there?
Bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
That part of Florida is, that's a wild part of Florida still. Once you get south, you start getting down toward the Everglades. There's a lot of nothing in that part of Florida. So yeah, you got alligators, you got snakes, you got the wild hogs. I don't want to be out there.
Hog, they say the wild hogs will run away from you, though. Is that correct? Or
they typically, I think, are pretty, they're pretty scared as long as as far as I know, they will.
Okay.
Jen, do you walk into the preserve with a buck knife in your teeth?
I should. I probably should. We used to go hog hunting a lot when we lived in Florida, and I was out there in my boots and with the kids, and we're chasing after hogs, and it's not too bad.
They're pretty scary looking animals, though, and they're
big. Yeah, I mean they've got those huge tusks on the front too. They can do some damage.
Yeah.
And they're supposedly very. I have a relative that hunted wild boar, and they're supposedly all muscle. They're very solid.
Yeah,
and they generally won't attack unless they're threatened or they're cornered or whatever. But they were saying how they have those big tusks, and if they gore you with that, they ain't letting go.
Yeah.
So initially when Brian had gone missing, and Bill and I, we were saying our opinions on what we thought had happened. Initially, we thought he was suicidal, and then we thought he wasn't. And then as it turned out, it looks like he was, but we were quite concerned that maybe these animals had gotten him too. This, the wild boars, the snakes, the alligators, all of that. But I think they pretty much labeled it a suicide, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I'm sure there's more to come out regarding that because, we don't know if the gun was ever recovered. They just found very little remains, looked like the skull, and there was a bullet wound in the skull. We're surmising that, and I guess there was some autopsy reports, but so that was one of the things that we were thinking, that the animal life, the habitat could have been what caused his demise, but it looks like, I guess, and there may even be a note attached to his notebook that was found in his backpack. So I guess we'll find out going forward.
Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. If you guys aren't subscribed to us, please go on our YouTube, hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell. We're going to take you on many, many adventures with us. And I'm so happy that Kyle and Jen Bethune agreed to come on this show because I
Bill
thought
did 4 shows today.
this is my 4th show today, so I'm like,
wow,
yeah, I'm a little bit tongue tied right now, and
that's a lot.
I was gonna bring an interpreter on because I didn't know if you'd be able to understand our New York accents either, you know.
I thought you were retired, man. That's a lot of. Work.
I am, but you know what? I'll tell you what happened. I do a show in the morning called Coffee with Cannon, and I usually do it from out in my yard, or as the Brits say, "You're in your garden." Yeah, that's not a yard; it's called a garden. And so I decided to do it inside, and then I played a little cut of a video, and I got hit with a copyright thing, and they actually shut me down. They shut my video down, and that never happened to me before. So I'm like, oh no. I'm thinking that they may penalize my channel. So I called Duty Ron. He goes, see if you can go on again. So I went on again, but on my phone from outside this time, and I got on. So that was number 2. And then we were supposed to do a show at 6, and we did that, and then we already had you guys booked. So this is my 4th show of the day. Yeah, so I'm a little crazed right now.
But last, though, right?
That's right. That's right. I was looking forward to having you guys. You're not a typical guest, but I was really looking forward to meeting you guys because
thanks for having us.
I did get very emotional one time when we were talking about you guys and almost what people have referred to as the divine intervention of putting you guys in the right place at the right time to find this poor girl and to give somewhat, at least finding her remains, to give somewhat closure to her family that at least they had something to bury and to have finality that way.
Think about it, Billy. Think about it. They had the breakdown of the car. They were going to go in a different direction. Other campers told them, no, go this direction. And then the camera gets left on by accident. I mean, if that's not a sign of divine intervention, I don't know what is. And it kind of leaves you speechless. And I believe in that. I really do. So thank you guys again. That was really something. And it's amazing how these different things that occurred put you down that road at that time, because we don't know how long that van was there. That van could have been there for a short period of time. We don't know when the exact thing took place, but whatever it was put you guys in that direction at that time. And it was really the pivotal part of the whole investigation.
Jacob Slavens asked, did Roberta and Chris Laundrie put $20,000 into a bank account for their son to take off? I don't know that. The investigators would know that because they would probably check their bank records and that type of thing. But many things that we hear about, like in the chat, and a lot of it's rumor, and I never confirm it unless I know it was put out there, by a reliable source. I'm sure you guys get rumors all the time, especially when you're on the air. People will say, "Oh, did you hear that this happened?" No, I didn't. I'm not going to put it out there till I can verify it, So
yeah,
I think you guys should win. You guys should win a new mobile home. You should go on one of those channels where they said, and Kyle and Jen Bethune just won a $250,000 mobile home. That would be so nice.
Take it, but
hey, who wouldn't take it, right?
Girl.
Because you have your adopted son Duty Run now, so you're going to need a bigger mobile home,
He can be adopted grandpa, and then we'll get a whole lot more date nights because we'll just stick the kids with Duty Ron all the time.
That sounds right.
That's right. You could have a live-in babysitter, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Chris Thomason says, hey, boys, just want to thank you all for having these wonderful folks on tonight. If you didn't believe after this, you must. God bless you all. Chris and Rick from Chicago, thank you so much. And we do believe in the power of prayer too. And absolutely. I know sometimes that's not popular these days where there's a lot of heathens out there, but I'll say it, come get me. You don't like it. You want to step to this shit? All right. So I believe in the power of prayer. And I think that in this instance, it was working, and it was definitely, you had a little angel on your shoulder, both of you,
Oh, absolutely. You know, something that really humbled me is now in all of our videos, at the end of our video, we feature a different missing person. And
Yeah.
so we'll spend about 60 minutes. We put their picture up on their missing 60 minutes, 60 seconds. And we put their picture up there and talk about them. And so many people never come home.
Yeah.
Like, some of these cases, because we asked everyone, I created missing at redwhiteandbethune.com. And we asked people to send in these missing posters. And some of them have been missing for 20 years. And they've never gotten any closure. And for me, like, that just absolutely breaks my heart, because I had no idea that many people went missing and are never found.
Yeah, no, it happens every single day. We were in the police business, myself for 27 years, Phil for like 21, 22. And we've seen many, many missing persons, and we've searched for missing persons. We've searched for kidnapped persons. We've unfortunately found out there were times where missing persons became homicides, and we had to tell families. So we've been through all of this stuff, and we know the best part of life, the happiest parts, but we also seen the worst, and I think that puts some of the wrinkles on my face a little bit, and Phil
For
too.
sure.
Billy, there's been like so many times when I was a detective in the detective squad, runaways, it counts as a missing person. It's a runaway. It's a kid that runs away. They report them missing. And we had a group home. I worked in Coney Island in the 60 precinct. We had a group home within Coney Island. So a lot of times if kids were getting placed, they were getting removed from their families, they would get sent over there. And the person that ran it, Dovie Turner was her name. She didn't lock the doors. Like, in other words, she would lock them, but if a kid wanted to leave, she let them leave if they were teenagers or whatever. And then she'd have to report them missing. And it kind of became routine, is the point I'm trying to make. But then, like you said, Jen, there are those people that they get reported missing and they're never found. Sometimes it could be, God forbid, a homicide. It turns into a homicide, or it's a homicide victim. And then there are times when people just take off and for different reasons. So, but that one or two that they're really missing, and if you put a picture up like that and they could be found, I mean, that's fantastic. It's fabulous that you guys did what you did with regard to Gabby Petito. Even though she wasn't found alive, it's still, I stressed it before, I'm going to stress it again, it was probably the most important part of the whole investigation. So that's great work that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. And I love that idea of putting up a different missing person at the end of your episodes and talking about them for 60 seconds or so. It's almost like a version of America's Most Wanted for
in a way it is. You're right. Teresa Bierman, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. All I know is Gabby wouldn't have been found as quickly if it weren't for the Bethunes. Bless you guys. Or maybe not at all.
I was just going to say that, Billy.
Maybe not at all, because, I don't know what was left of her remains. And it wasn't a full body, but, much more time would have went by. They might not have found her at all, So you talk about divine intervention. That's it. And, God is on our side sometimes,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't to be that she would be found safe, but the amount of media attention in this case, and I think I've spoke about this before, where it was like people kind of fell in love with the All-American Girl, so to speak. And I think the video of the interaction with the police when they had that dispute on August the 12th, I think that really showed her at a great disadvantage. She was so upset, and it just made people want to reach through the television screen or whatever it was you were watching her on and try to help her, And I think that's why it caught so much international attention. That's my opinion. There was people that say, there's other missing persons that don't get as much attention. I think every real missing person like Gabby Petito should get an onslaught of media attention, because that really, really, I mean, if it wasn't for the media attention on this case, you guys wouldn't have known about it and gone back and looked into the video and found that van. So, but there was just something special about the whole case, if you know what I mean. It really touched everybody. In the first couple of days, Bill and I decided to do it. And within a few days, when we put it up on YouTube, everybody I knew was talking about it. And I'm not talking about that they saw it on our show. They were talking about it just in general. People were constantly talking about it and bringing it up. And I would say, yeah, we did a couple of shows on our podcast about it. So it was like everywhere. And I guess that's what led to the successful, not successful with regard to her life, successfully finding where she was.
100%. Hey, Bite Me, thank you for the $20 super chat. I love your screen name. Bite Me is a great screen name to have. Don't let anyone take that from you.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting Gabby home, and that's the Bethunes, the Red, White, and Bethunes are more responsible for that than anyone. One of the things that maybe this case did that maybe will help people in the future is it shined a spotlight on domestic violence.
For sure.
And it wasn't 100% clear. Maybe a lot of people have 20/20 hindsight and they said, oh, I knew right away that was domestic violence, and you don't know until you shine a spotlight on it. And of course, we all know what happened. And this was a tragic, tragic thing that occurred. And now, see, we've been cops, 27 years, 22 years. And every time something goes wrong, the police do something wrong, the politicians and the public says they need more training. You know what I mean? That's always the answer. They need more training, but cops don't have a crystal ball.
No.
They don't know. They can take certain indicators and do things. And I said right from the beginning, I thought that those cops did a pretty good job. However, I didn't know about the phone call saying that he had slapped her. Had I known that, I would have changed my. Someone would have got arrested at that scene. The Moab police, either her or both of them, maybe both of them. And would that have prevented the murder? I don't know, because the murder didn't happen till I think 12 days later. So that's we could say someone should have been arrested. Maybe both of them should have been arrested. Maybe that would have got them separated. Maybe they would have split up and went their separate ways. Who knows? But you can't say for sure that would have prevented the homicide.
Yeah. There are a few things that came out of that interaction that I think are going to wind up being a positive going forward. Maybe it's the silver lining in the dark cloud, but those officers did separate them. As we know, she went into the van and stood in the van overnight. He went to a hotel. They actually checked him in. Now, someone brought up, it was Gisela. She said maybe they should have checked on them the next day, or even asked the question, do you feel safe? I think that might have been key. We don't know if it was asked. I mean, we watched most of the interaction with the Moab police, but I think she made a really great point when she said if someone's in that situation, they might be afraid to say that they don't feel safe. So asking that question might be key. So these are the takeaways that we'll have from this incident. Now, I am sure that those officers in Moab feel terrible about what the final outcome was, but I really don't think that they did anything wrong. They went the extra mile. If it was the NYPD in New York City, they probably would have gotten a 5 or 10 minute interaction with the police and either sent on their way or an arrest would have been made. I'm not going to call it one way or the other, but they really did spend time. They tried. I don't think that they should feel guilty, those guys, but if they had a do-over, I'm sure they would have done it differently. Yeah. And again, Bill, you made the greatest point. We don't know if 15 days later when she was killed, we believe she was killed on the 27th, if that would have an arrest in that situation and then overnight in jail and then out the next day, we don't know what would have happened. Probably they would have hooked up and they would have went on their way. We don't know for certain if that would have prevented it, but let's try and look at the situation and maybe have a better understanding of domestic violence going forward. We got to try and learn from it, I guess, is the point. And I think that that's probably what's going to happen. And those couple of good points to maybe have checked on them the next day to see how they were doing. And it does seem like as time went on from that incident that things really spiraled out of control based on the incident that happened earlier on the 27th at that restaurant. So, he was described as being enraged and out of control and all of that. So things probably accelerated. And I think that there was it's a safe bet to say that there was probably some domestic violence and controlling issues between the two of them, you know, on Brian's side. So, but all we could do is hope and pray that it doesn't happen again. And if Gabby's up in heaven, and maybe she could just bless us all and know that we're thinking about her. And I can't even imagine. My heart goes out to the family, especially being in the holiday season, that they don't have their daughter. It's going to be a tough one for them, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Julia Haran asking, do you feel safe? Is much better than asking, are you okay? I heard that somewhere and I love it. I think you're right. I think that's a good thing to ask someone. And, you know, to not be super critical of the Moab police, as I said, they seem to have spent about an hour at that scene.
Yeah.
Yet they were
It's actually
heavily
over now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they were heavily criticized for their response because, of course, everyone that's not a cop has a crystal ball and can predict what happened or what is going to happen if what they consider to be the proper actions weren't taken. And you know, I thought they were very professional. And of course, something bad happened, so let's condemn the police. And you know, when the police are wrong, I will say it, but I didn't think they were wrong in this instance.
You know, hindsight's 2020. Everybody looking introspectively now can pick out all these things, but in the moment, you can only do with what you have. And I feel like they did the best they could with the information they had. And I have a saying that you can't fix the past, but you can change the future. So you can learn from things that have happened in the past in order to be able to change the future for everybody.
100%. That's a
Billy,
good,
I just want to make one more point about that. Now, being in law enforcement my whole adult life, Billy, you as well, what we know and what we're trained about domestic violence, those officers followed it to the letter of the law. They separated them. They got a statement from her. They got a statement from him. They actually looked up the statute in their procedures to see if it met the threshold for an arrest. So, I mean, looking at it and not knowing what the outcome would have been, I would say that they did 100% what you would do normally in any domestic violence case based on your training. Now, again, it's easy to say it at this point that, you know, people criticize, they knew what the outcome was, but they really, I think, you know, every training that I had on domestic violence, they followed it through the proper way, in my opinion.
Yes, Amber Buck, your comment was they knew there was a 9/11 call that they hadn't heard yet, but made their choices without hearing it. Other than that, they did really good. Yeah, I agree with you, Amber, and I wasn't aware of that call either. And I've gone to hundreds of domestic violence, and I was a boss, so I was a sergeant, so the buck stopped with me. So when cops wanted to let the primary aggressor go, I would say no, put handcuffs on him or her and take the buck stops when the boss gets on the scene, because if something goes wrong, all those cops are saying, oh, Sarge, we don't have to make an arrest. They're like, Sergeant Cannon was there. He said to do this and do that when it goes wrong, you know. When it goes right, you know, Sergeant Cannon did the right thing. But when you don't do the right thing, they're the first ones pointing at you. I've experienced that too, you know. That's in police parlance, it's called shit canning a job. And if you shit can a job, that means you don't want to do it properly. And I used to say ad nauseum in roll call. I would say, guys, I was a cop too, and I know what shit canning a job is. You want to shit can a job? Be my guest. But if you call me to the scene, guess what? It's being done by the numbers. It's being done by the book. Shit canning is over once I get to the scene. So don't call me. You want to shit can it? Don't call me to the scene. These guys would call me to the scene and then say, oh, try to shit can. And I said, nah, no more shit canning because I'm here. You know?
Yeah, it's like when the kids get into arguments and fights on the bus. They'll be like, Mom, they did this. I'm like, do you really want me to come in there? Like, do you really want to disturb me right now and make me come in there? Like, no, we'll work it out.
Right. That's a good analogy. You're right. That's exactly it, you know. Or else the other one is the trick of mom said no, ask dad.
Yeah.
Or dad said no, ask mom, right?
My kids are famous for that.
And when that happens, you want to strangle them, right?
Yeah. You know, Billy, I want to bring up a quick story about domestic violence. Now, in this case, obviously, they went. We thought the Moab police, they went above and beyond. They did what we thought was the proper thing, and it turned out bad. But I had a case one time. I was working a day tour on Father's Day. I come in the morning, I pick up the cases, and I see domestic violence that this woman was claiming that she was, threatened that he was going to come and kill her if he didn't get to see the kids. Blah, blah, blah. It's Father's Day. And no sooner did I get to my desk and I put the case down, the phone's ringing. It's the woman, and she's telling me, oh, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. And she goes, you better bring a lot of guys with you. I'm like, what do you mean? And I look at the description. The guy's 6'7", 275. And she's telling me what an animal he is. He's this, he's that. So I grab my partner. I'm like, look, we got to go right out on this. We go out. We wind up knocking on the door. The guy couldn't have been more cooperative. The guy said, listen, guy, I'm telling you, she's just doing it to spite me. She didn't want me to have the kids on Father's Day. And as it turned out, once we dug into it, the guy was a sweetheart. He came without even raising an eyebrow. He was arrested. He spent Father's Day in jail. And the more research and the more investigating we done into the case, it was true what he said. Now, we didn't really have a choice because there was an order of protection involved, and she was making these allegations, and there was really no way to unsubstantiate what she was saying. It was threats over the phone and stuff like that. So it does work both ways, is my point. And in that case, it turned out that she was a real bad drug user. She was a heroin addict, and it was just a bad situation. And this poor guy wound up spending Father's Day in jail. But who knows? It could have went the other way too had he not. I don't think so. My opinion is that he really was not the aggressor in it. She was. But, so it does go both ways. That's the point.
Michelina Sereno, I survived domestic violence. I saw the red flags in the body cam videos. Don't think arresting them would have mattered. No order of protection will protect us. I'm lucky to be alive. At police off the cuff. Well, Michelina, we're happy that you are alive. We're happy that you got through that. It's a horrible thing, domestic violence, and to live through it and live in a situation like that is a horrible thing, and it's, there's a whole theories to all of that stuff. A lot of times people that are victims of domestic violence, they get away from their abuser, and then they meet someone exactly like the guy they just left. There's a psychology to it. And I've seen that also. And I'm not blaming anybody, but there is a psychological condition where you seek out the same type of person that does that, and it's
behavior,
just, it's just crazy. So where are you guys going to next? That's after the 8 days are over. You pick up the 3 kids. Where you off to next?
So we're actually going to be spending a little bit more time at Kyle's parents' house, and about the middle of January, then we'll start making our way out of Florida. So we will be headed on out. Middle of January, we're still going to bounce around Florida. End of March is when we'll be headed up to the East Coast. We're going to be doing the Northeast in late spring, early summer. So we told Duty Ron, don't be surprised if a big blue bus pulls up in front of your yard.
We're camping in your yard, Duty Ron. We brought tents. We're going to camp in your yard.
Yep. We'll be camping in the yard, Duty Ron. But yeah, that's the plan for this spring, summer. We're going to kind of be up in the Northeast, and we want to spend next winter in Baja, Mexico. So yeah, we'll just be laying on the beach, getting fat and happy, eating fish tacos all day.
Now, do you guys ever have any fear of traveling anywhere or through anywhere, or any bad experiences relative to that?
No, honestly, other than finding the van, that's been the craziest thing that's happened to us on the road as far as safety is concerned. Because that was kind of freaky knowing that the van was there and we were in the same spot that night. Right. But other than that, it's really peaceful out here. We've never had any problems.
No, common sense is a big factor. You kind of gotta, make good decisions on your, what's between your ears. But yeah, like she said, we've been Chicago, we've been, LA, we've been all over the place. So, we've been in some of the rougher cities in the country, and we've never felt unsafe once.
Phil and I call certain locations in New York City. We ask, is that a 1-clip or a 2-clip location? It's real bad. You got to bring 2 clips. But that's great. You know, Phil, I think we're at like an hour and 4 minutes, and this is my 4th show of the day.
Yeah.
And
break.
Phil, last words.
Last words. Kyle and Jen Bethune of Red, White, and Bethune. Thank you so much. It was just an honor. It was a pleasure to meet you guys. We were so plugged into that Gabby Petito case, and thank you again for coming on. You guys did something really, really good. It'll always be with you. I think Gabby's spirit will always be with you guys. And as tough as it is to have a good holiday around, tragedy like this, let's hope and pray for the families.
Yeah.
And stay healthy and happy, guys. And God bless you.
Thank you.
And Kyle and Jen, it was my privilege to meet you guys. It was a great thing that Duty Ron. I said, "Oh, can I get their contact?" "Oh yeah, you give me their contact number." I said because I wanted to meet you right around when it happened. I just thought I was really touched by it, and I still am. And I mean, it was an amazing thing. And everyone that followed this case obviously knows who you guys are. And I'm really I would never want to do what you guys are doing because I like to be grounded in like one place, but I admire what you're doing. You know what I mean? I think I would last maybe like the 8 days that you're in Isla Morada. And I'd be like, get me in a house somewhere where I could just be in there and not be traveling around, But I mean, it's almost like being an army brat, And it's always seemed like kids that travel all over the world, they were so grounded because they weren't afraid of anything. You know what I mean? Because they changed schools every 6 months and they were all over the world. And it really, I think it benefited them when they became adults because they weren't afraid of anything. And it's pretty amazing,
It makes them resilient for sure. But
and I think your kids will be resilient. Your kids will definitely be resilient,
But
what an
I want to thank
adventurous
you
life,
guys,
too.
especially Phil and Bill, for your service of 22 and 27 years that you put in. You police officers are so underrated. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. I could not do what you guys did. And thank you for that. And thank you for having us on. We're just a real dumpster fire and we just love life.
That's fantastic. And I hope you continue to have great luck and to enjoy your life and go on this adventure because and I hope you have 100,000 subscribers by 2022.
We hope so too. That'd be good.
I know.
Nice.
Duty Ron did it. We could do it too,
Yeah.
I just gotta write more jokes and stuff, and I gotta get Philly we just did a show on how to make spaghetti sauce. I gotta get Phil to come up with some more recipes, that we could put out there. And maybe they'll be like, Phil, straight out of Brooklyn, there's a great veal Parmesan hero recipe. And people are going to tune in and go, oh my God, Phil's got a veal Parmesan hero recipe. We're tuning in.
That's the next one, Billy, the veal Parmesan. That's the next one. We did the sauce. Now we do the veal Parm.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
So guys, all you police off the cuff fans, all you Red, White, and Bethune fans that tuned in, thank you so much for watching. And everyone out there, be safe. And Jen and Kyle, thank you so much for coming on. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry
You
Christmas
too.
and stay safe. And our brothers and sisters in blue, be safe out there.
One episode just